อยู่ร่วมทุกข์ร่วมสุขพี่น้องชาวบ้านเราได้รับทราบเรื่องแรกก็คือเรื่องจากรางวัลที่จากการเมือง
Well, good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day. Had a great night's sleep. Had my alarm clock wake me up this morning with the town announcements, as usual. 6:30 in the morning. I got a lot to talk about this morning, so I'm going to bring you guys along for the ride, and I'm going to tell you what my conclusion is about our current situation. I'm talking and riding at the same time, so sorry if I seem out of breath. So traveling in Thailand's not super easy. And one of the things I really love about Thailand is normally it's the sense of freedom. Like to just pick up and go and do anything you want, you know, in Thailand. I'm talking about going places and like holidays and vacations. The people here are amazing. They're still very kind and giving, even through all of this mess. And, you know, everybody's going through a serious hardship. Not everybody, but a lot of people are going through a serious hardship right now, everywhere in the world. Before I talk anymore, without including my wife, Paige, I just want to say that Paige has a lot of patience, I'll say that. But Paige does not like to sit around, probably more so than me. So Paige has always been an adventurous, right? She left Thailand when she was 15 to go live in America. And she went to school, she's been to college, she's had a couple of careers. And, you know, every chance she got, she spent traveling all around, whether it was coming back to Thailand or traveling all around the United States before she met me. So I'm not gonna, this is about my decision, and it also, you need to know, includes Paige. Choice of leaving ThatPhanom, which is going to happen one way or the other because I can't stay here, was going to Koh Chang. Of course, you guys probably already knew that. So I think Koh Chang is a good place to stay right now during this pandemic for quite a while. Either wherever we go in Thailand, we're not going to be able to move around much, I think, for the next couple of months. I don't like what ifs, but you know, we've been living in this scenario here for quite a while, and I don't think it's going to change much in the next few months. I know Thailand wants it to change. I know they're losing billions of dollars every month right now. So I'm sure they want to get a handle on this some way. Hopefully the grown-ups will take over and sort this out pretty soon. But Koh Chang was my first choice, and Koh Chang is big. And right now there's probably a lot of places on the island that we can stay for months at an end. And I was thinking Koh Chang, we just kind of go on a, you know, maybe at first do something for like a couple of weeks, and if we like the place, maybe do a month to month and stay for 2 or 3 months. Before I talk any more about us leaving, let me tell you a little bit about my situation at home with her parents. And most of you know this, that my mother-in-law is going to be very upset when we tell her that we're going to leave for an extended period of time. I know she realizes what's going on right now with us, and she'll accept it, but I know she's not going to be happy. The reason why is because her and Paige have bonded so close, and right now my father-in-law is kind of getting on Mafia's nerves, and you know, she's got her friends to come over too, but Paige kind of keeps her dad in check. Like whenever her mom really gets irritated, I don't know why, but really Paige can put her foot down and the nonsense will stop. You know, talking about politics or, I absolutely love this time of year. This is the time of year where we usually do quite a bit of traveling during the raining season because it's typically not real busy in Thailand this time of year. And we really like the peace and quiet and not a lot of tourists anyway. And traveling around Thailand's been really awesome the past couple years, except for, well, I'll say about a year and a half, except for just recently. Been really nice, other than the fact, well, I'll get to that in a little bit. Let me get back to Koh Chang. So Koh Chang is big. It has everything. It's got a macro, big sea. It's a really big island and a lot of different areas. I think we can go and not be super bored, you know, like maybe stay 1 month in one area or a couple weeks in one area and then move around. I think that it'll be easy to be entertained. And there's a couple of gyms in Koh Chang right now. You know, some of the resorts, some of the hotels have pretty nice gyms and swimming pools too. There's a lot of sand fleas right now during the raining season in Koh Chang, but we figured out kind of how to manage that with the local coconut oil. So yeah, Koh Chang I think is a pretty good spot to go. Koh Chang is my first choice. Koh Chang's still my favorite place. It's always been my favorite place, and from there you can hire a little boat to take you to the neighboring islands of a speedboat or whatever to Kot or Mak, which at the moment are still open. My second choice was to go to Udon. My second choice was Udon. Udon's a pretty big town, pretty big province. There's quite a few things you can do in Udon. And a lot of times in Isan region, the numbers go down pretty fast. So in a matter of time, they could be kind of in the clear where it's easy to travel. And then from Udon, you know, we can travel to the neighboring provinces and stuff like that. But we were thinking about kind of hunkering in Udon for a couple of months. That's my second choice. And my third choice was to go to Prachuap Khiri Khan. You guys probably know why. Joe and Klaus, they both live there. Joe's going to be finished with his home soon. And me and Joe and others have decided to take a pretty long bike ride down south whenever possible. And Paige and Gift are really close friends, and they can stay together for extended periods of time and still get along. So really, Prachuap was really kind of my second choice, but because Udon's closer to home and we could come back and forth, that's why I decided Udon would be my second choice. But a lot of things to see in that area. Of course, there's Hua Hin and, you know, provinces. It's on the border also of Myanmar. We could go down there to a little town called what's it called? I forgot. Dancing Corn is a nice little town, and we thought we could stay out there for 2 or 3 months. And you know, if things kind of lightened up, we could pop down into Surat Thani. Surat Thani is my fourth choice. In Surat Thani, you could go to the island of Koh Samui. And you know, you could bounce around on that. Right now, Koh Samui is kind of normal. A lot of things happen. There's a lot of people traveling to Koh Samui right now. So any sense of normalcy is probably going to be in Koh Samui. I have no plans to go to Phuket. I think the Phuket deal for me, it's too much confusion with the sandbox deal, and I don't want to get wrapped up into that as somebody that lives here. You know, I'm not interested in staying long term in Phuket right now. Maybe when the rest of the islands, they start to have the tourist schemes and other places, which they want to try. And I don't know how they're going to do this with what's going on, you know, at the end of the month, to do stuff like in Pattaya and Hua Hin and, you know, other little islands. Whatever we're going to have to do, it's going to have to be for long term, because coming back is going to be a little bit difficult, and we're just going to have to make the best of this and kind of stick around somewhere where we can enjoy ourselves for the next, possibly till the end of the year. But realistically, I think 2 months, we'll start seeing some pretty drastic changes in Thailand after a couple months. I think it's going to peak in about 2 months. Okay, here's my biggest problem with traveling in Thailand right now, other than doing the quarantine crap, is the vaccine. It's my biggest problem, and a problem for everybody right now. If you don't have the vaccine, you have to get tested to stay in some of the resorts or go into some of the areas in Thailand. You either have to have recovered from COVID, you have to have tested negative for COVID, or you have to have 2 vaccines for COVID. to travel around. So my problem is we've already had one Sinovac vaccine last week, and we were supposed to get an AstraZeneca shot in our province. I'm scheduled, me and Paige are scheduled to get our shot on the 13th of August to get our second shot. Once we get our second shot, we can travel no problem. I think really after 14 days, I'll say there's not going to be a problem after our second shot. Now, I know things are changing. This everything I'm saying might change by the time my video, or by the time you watch this video, everything's probably have changed. But I'm just going through my decision-making process. So I'm back to square one. I'm back to waiting another month to try to figure out what we're going to do, because I can't leave and come back and get the vaccine. We'll be stuck in our house, quarantined, and that's going to be a problem. This is where Klaus and Thun have a house out here in NakhonPhanom, right here on the right, in this village. It's a Ban Klang. So yeah, we gotta wait till we get our vaccine and then kind of decide. So it seems like this is how it's been in Thailand for us. Is every time we decide we're going to do something, it ultimately changes, and we can't do really what we want to do because of the situation, right? A lot of the situation, well, I can't really talk about that on the internet. Of course, that's another problem. Anyway, enough talking about that. Another problem that we have is our ultimate goal in life is to explore the world, which we will. It'll open up soon, and we'll be able to get back to doing what we wanted to do. But the problem is it's going to be different. It's not going to be the same. Everybody understands that. We all know. And, you know, a lot of people, they're like, oh, they're taking our freedoms. And of course, yeah, every time there's a problem, we lose freedoms. But, you know, we've never... Well, in our lifetime, we've never been able to travel freely anyway. There's always been rules, there's always been restrictions. You can't travel to another country without a passport. You have to have a passport. And if you live in a country, if you live in certain countries, you're not allowed to go to certain places. So there's always rules, there's always restrictions, there's always things you have to have to be able to go to enter somebody's country. That's always been the case. So now this is something that's going to be new, okay? A lot of times, like in Thailand, a lot of people think that you're required to have some type of immunization or some types of shots to enter Thailand. But you can go on the CDC website and see what's required in any country to enter their country as far as disease control, but in Thailand you don't have to. But I think in the future that's going to change, okay? So traveling, or even traveling in your own country, a lot of times there's different rules and different laws, especially in America. Every state is governed differently, and you know, you've got to abide by their rules. What I love about Thailand is, you know, yes, the provinces are kind of run the same, but all the officials, the police, the military, everything's kind of operated by one central government, right? So the rules are basically the same, basically. And it's, for me, like traveling in Thailand has been the most freedom I think I've ever experienced in any country is Thailand. Anyway, enough about that. But my point is that Sinovac is not recognized by quite a few countries as of now. Maybe that'll change. Probably will. Everything seems to change. But right now there's a problem with China and the rest of the world. So until that stigma's gone, who knows? You know, China makes a lot of pharmaceuticals. Probably, I think it supplies most of the antibiotics to the United States. So, but anyway, we can't travel to any of the EU countries because they don't recognize Sinovac. Now they recognize AstraZeneca because it's made in England, I think. I'm pretty sure. So in our mind, we're gonna ultimately end up having to get 3 shots. The next one we're scheduled is AstraZeneca. And you know, we're okay to travel around Asia. You can't right now because even the bordering countries are closed. But we'll be able to travel to countries in Asia. And I think that's it. Now America, they don't care if you have a shot or not. They do the standard, look at your passport, okay, you know, have a great time. They don't really, it depends on what state you're in too. Some of them have different requirements than others. But anyway, so we'd have to really wait and get a 3rd shot. And you know, right now the availability and choices are very limited. So America is sending a bunch of Pfizer, and they've got it allocated for government officials. So as a booster shot from the Sinovac shots. Because of the new strand. I'm tired of talking about this. This is why I'm making this decision here to go. So bear with me, please. Right now in our province of NakhonPhanom, which is pretty big, and a lot of places we've seen in Isan when we were traveling, a lot of people are moving back home. There's a lot of new construction happening right now. A lot of people building little homes, and right now a lot of the hotels are flooded with people that have come here from the red zone to come back home because there's no opportunity left where they're at. And they need to come home. So they're sitting in hotels right now waiting out their 14 days. And a lot of these people have already, you know, they've already had vaccines or they're negative, but they have to sit in the quarantine until they can be set free, yeah. But anyway, there's a lot of people moving back in. Like I said on a prior video, I've never seen so many restaurants popping up, massage places, and all kinds of stuff everywhere. But life is pretty much kind of normal here where we're at. It's just I'm bored with riding my bike back and forth, and you know, I miss Thailand. I miss the old traveling around and just enjoying the entire country and seeing things for the first time. I enjoy that. When I travel now, it's just kind of disparity a little bit. I'm gonna have to pedal a little faster because it looks like it's about to rain. I don't feel like getting wet. Excited. I'm gonna tell you right now, the best thing for us is to go back